you're just joining us, welcome to Fayetteville and Bud Walton Arena. We have got a good one here in women's gymnastics. Number 16, the Arkansas Razorbacks are hosting the number 17 Alabama Crimson Tide. We are just 2 gymnasts in on each event. This is Peyton Walker, the 3rd gymnast to go for Alabama on vault. Excuse me, that is Grace Drexler, the 3rd gymnast to go. Unfortunate fall, Sam.
Yeah, they were really starting to build momentum with Jalee's 9.9 in that 2 spot, but I saw Grace have a little trouble with consistency in the warm-up with this. Didn't quite get the block. You see she didn't get both hands with a good block off the table. Twist a little early, and that's where you see she came up short in the landing.
So Grace Drexler for Arkansas, the 3rd gymnast to go on vault. She follows 2 very good vaults. It was a great start for Arkansas on vault. 2 great Yurchenko fulls. Alabama on the uneven bar started with Gabby Gladio and Lily Hudson. Both put up nice scores, 9.825, 9.8 respectively. Now this is Peyton Walker, 3rd gymnast to go for Alabama on this event.
This routine is such a wow factor. Look how much airtime she gets on that pack salto release move. And is really gentle back up to the handstand. I love watching this routine. She's just so dynamic, and it's really artistic, actually. Finds the landing to a stuck. She makes it look easy.
So 3 hits for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and really the plot of this competition isn't necessarily the head-to-head. It's about what they score, because both of these teams are trying to make it to the SEC Championships. Only 8 teams go. Currently, Arkansas is sitting in that 8th spot. Alabama is in the 9th spot. 9 teams in the SEC for women's gymnastics. Those are the scores they need to get tonight to improve their national qualifying score and ideally move up the rankings. So we'll keep an eye on that.
And I saw her overpower that in warm-up, so she was able to find the ground better than that. Look how high she gets. I see legs squeezed together. Just took a step backwards. That'll be a deduction. You see it on her face. Didn't quite need to take that step.
Well, you can see that 9.15 for Grace Drexler. They're going to want to drop that score. The lightly shaded scores in the score tower are the ones they drop. So you can drop that mistake, but that puts pressure on those last 3 athletes. Essen Price hit her vault. Klein and Frankie Price to finish things up have got to hit as well. Otherwise, they are going to count a mistake. You get 1 routine for a margin for error, and that's it. Chloe LaCourcier now, the sophomore, tremendous uneven bar worker. She's in the 4 spot. So far, good rotation for Alabama.
She was an All-American on bars just last year as a freshman. And it's because of how rhythmic her bars are. She flows right up to that handstand position. But
right now, Alabama's low score is at Lily Hudson, 9.8.
That's called a bail to handstand. She adjusts slightly on top of the bar, but no question it was vertical.
She's an SEC champ on this event.
She knew it before her feet hit the ground. She wasn't moving.
Team huddle for Alabama. Got to be pleased with how they've started. They've been looking great in warm-ups, as head coach Ashley Johnston had said, but they hadn't been putting it together in the meets. In fact, she said they won warm-ups multiple times. Now they just want to win the meet, and they are definitely off on the right foot.
She said that they're trying to replace those bigger names that competed a lot the last couple years. So even though some of the upperclassmen are competing, they don't have as much competitive experience as maybe some upperclassmen from other teams. So they knew they were going to build as the season progressed.
So Shania Adams, a 9.95, and Alabama will have the lead after the first rotation with a season high 49.475. When we come back, we're going to talk about Maddie Wallagora. She's wearing a new shade of red this season. Here at Bud Walton Arena, we are through 1 rotation, and right now it's the Alabama Crimson Tide. They have a .275 lead. As they move over to vault, Jordan Paradise, the senior, will lead things off for them on that event. The home team, the Arkansas Razorbacks, they have moved over to the uneven bars. A lot at stake here, not just the win, but which team can move.
Landing.
So one vault in for Alabama, and over on the bars, we're going to go down to Taylor Davis. Taylor?
John, after Arkansas's vault rotation, assistant coach Chris Brooks gathered the entire team together in a huddle, led them all in a big, deep breath. He said, okay, we settled in now, let's go have fun. They just felt like they were a bit tight, pressing a bit much in rotation one. Wants to see them let it loose a little bit here.
And that's the perfect mindset to have, especially coming to bars, because they've been working on getting over the mental hurdle of stuck landings. Sometimes trying to focus too hard on them leads to more mistakes.
This is freshman Jocelyn Robertson, a star freshman for the Razorbacks. Currently 16th in the country in the all-around.
Really done a nice job acclimating to college gymnastics. It's so different than elite, where you're competing every single weekend. So not only are you physically exhausted, but you're also mentally exhausted as well.
And talking to both coaching staffs before this competition, they all talk about, what are you going to do? What do you got to focus on? Steps. We're late in the season, so, hopefully the routines have been refined. The skills on the apparatus are good, but those landings are such difference makers. And I'll be honest, Arkansas not landing well so far. Karis German, the second gymnast to go. She follows a 9.825 from Jordan Paradise.
Going to be doing this weekend. They won the incredible.
Alabama rolling early here in Fayetteville. And momentum is a thing in gymnastics. You start hitting routines and sticking landings, and that carries over, takes a little pressure off your teammates, lets them send it as the coach wants them to do just a little bit more, and that is what Alabama is doing right now. Callie Swaney now follows Robertson's 9.75. They do not want to count that 9.75.
She has a really nice swing on this event. Clean gymnastics, working on getting full vertical on those cast handstands. Double layout, almost hangs on to that dismount. Taking a step forward is a 1/10 deduction, which means her routine automatically starts from a 9.9. That's the transition element, low to high, then high to low. Finishing double layout, you can see she's spotting the ground, but it's the curse of trying to stick too hard.
Chris Brooks,
Chris is saying she let go just a little early on that dismount, needs to be patient.
Another Alabama freshman, important player for them. Kylie Kwame now follows that Karis.
Your chest position has to be in the correct place. Your core has to be engaged. Your knees have to be slightly bent. Everything is so perfect in order to be able to stick the landing.
I mean, you're coming in at Mach 12 doing, a couple flips in the air, 1.5 twists. That doesn't look easy to me, Sam.
And then just don't move your feet.
Exactly. Priscilla Park now on the uneven bars. Caitlin Ewald, a very good 9.875. So scores building. They are going to have to count a 9.7 though.
She is an excellent bar swinger for Arkansas, but she does have to manage her back, so can't do as many numbers as some of the other athletes on the roster. They didn't make it to the rest of throughout the season last year, so they've done a much better job managing her with
bent arms on those release moves, which has always been a deduction, but it seems like they're really focusing on that. So we'll see what they do with that bar score as Gabby Gladio gets ready to go, waiting for that Noggin score, 9.85. So good score for her. Two big vaults to go. Gabby Gladio, Lily Hudson. Lily has scored a 10-0 on vault. So trying to put another exclamation point on the second rotation the same way they did.
Arkansas really likes to finish with senior and a grad student because they're such seasoned competitors. They can save those handstands in critical moments.
It's a lot to consume, but get out your calculator, get out your notepad at home, and you guys can figure it out. So this will be a very tight rotation. I suspect the lead will still be Alabama's. The question is how much.
You don't want to leave anything in question for the last event, though, because Arkansas is really known as a floor team, and they're known as a team that can perform in this arena. Bud Walton Arena seems to be their magical place. They've taken down the reigning national champions, LSU and Florida, right here.
So Alabama with the lead, going for the win, but the big plot here is who can maintain a top 8 ranking in the SEC. Right now, Arkansas is in, but they are hanging on by their fingernails as the Alabama Crimson Tide are putting up a big meet with that number. The way it's looking right now, they would leapfrog the Razorbacks.
You couldn't ask for anything more from their leadoff athlete.
They had some good landings on the end of the bar rotation. They've got to continue that. They've got to win the stick contest on the second half of this meet. Alabama, I think, won it the first half. They've got the lead. Arkansas, they've got to win it in the second half if they want a chance to come out of here with a W and improve that NQS.
Well, Alabama needs to have a significant lead going into that last event because you know Arkansas can rock it at home.
And as you mentioned, on an event, they are tremendous on the floor exercise. Here's Jamison Sears. She can absolutely fly. Saw her warm up this mount, Sam, before the meet. The big thing for her, can she control the landing? So much power.
She did it in warm-up, double pike, bounced out of that. It's really tough to control your momentum when you have so much adrenaline, especially for a powerful athlete like Jamison. This is important, combination pass. Watch the landing, you don't want to see your feet move. Good job trying to work out of that one.
She's really an important gymnast for them. She has so much talent. Won the Nastia Cup, which is a huge junior competition, and really somebody who can contribute on all 4 events. For our final SEC Network women's basketball triple header of the regular season, the number 11 Lady Vols host Georgia Sunday at noon Eastern. The number 1 Texas hosts Florida. And we cap the afternoon with number 7 LSU hosting Ole Miss in Baton Rouge. Can't believe we are coming down to the end of the regular season in basketball and women's gymnastics. Some great postseasons to come. Maddie Wallagora 9875. So if you want to match routines for each of these squads in this rotation, Maddie Wallagora 9875. That means if Shania Adams should go 9-9, that will extend that Crimson Tide lead, which, reminder, it was .325 after the second rotation. That means it's about a field goal difference, if you will, maybe slightly more in football terms, as Priscilla Park now is on the balance beam. Every routine critical from this point on.
She changed her routine construction pretty significantly this year, and it's been going very well throughout the season. This series, she used to do a triple series. Now she does a back handspring layout. It's been a lot more consistent in the gym. You want to pick skills that each athlete can do in their sleep. Obviously, they're not going to do it with their eyes closed, but you want to have no doubt that under any pressure situation, you're going to be able to make that skill. You can see since she's changed those skills in her routine, her confidence has really improved, and that's something that the coaches have been speaking to me about, is just that level of calmness they see from her every time she competes now. Side aerial, 1.5. Took a step backward. That'll be a 1/10 deduction, but really good on the beam. this mount was part of that new routine construction. Really difficult candlestick mount.
Have you ever tried that?
No, it's not something I would want to try, but she makes it look easy.
I want to know how you start to work that. Because you can't be off, really, ever.
Progressions. Every time an athlete comes off the equipment, getting final words from their coach.
Chloe LaCourcier now follows that. Shania Adams. Sam nailed it. 9.925, actually better than that 9.9.
Double back. Pretty big hop out of that double back, but doesn't go out of bounds.
Hop and slide.
Yeah, hop and slide. Combination pass. No problems on the landing there. Nice finish to that routine. She's always so beautiful to watch on that event.
Really a talented gymnast. I think she's one that has been good, but she's got the potential to be great.
Watch the landing. You see she hops back and then slides that front foot. Judges can take up to 4/10. My guess is that the judges will likely take 2 since she hops back and then slid that front foot. We'll see.
So if I'm doing your math correct, she shouldn't get higher than a 9.8.
We'll see.
We shall see. Putting the judges on the spot. I love this, Sam. Priscilla Park, a 9.8. Now Callie Swaney, the 4th gymnast to go. That's the lowest score for them in this beam rotation, though. A good start for them. 3 gymnasts to go, though. This back end of the lineup, that's the part of the lineup you want to see 9.9s.
Pitch kick into a front aerial. Preparing for her series. Triple series, back handspring layout. Looks easy to me. When we spoke to assistant coach Chris Brooks this week, he said that the training was that this week was that they were focusing on getting rid of the distractions at meets, and scoring has been such a distraction. We've heard that from a lot of teams. So instead of focusing on scores in the gym, they took that away and had to earn points. And they felt like that really helped them get their mindset off of the scores and just thinking about the skills in front of them, taking the emphasis away from that score. Watch this series. Nice rhythm. Back handspring layout. Beautiful.
So 4 gymnasts done on beam for Arkansas with that Callie Swaney routine. Chloe LaCourcier, 9.825, Sam. And that 9.825 is the low score for Alabama on floor. Very close to that 9.8 that we were talking about. Rachel Rabicki now, the junior, in the 4 spot.
She is a key player on floor for Alabama. She tends to be really clean in her skills. Oh man, hop back again. My guess is that they got so excited from the 2 high scores from Jamison and Shania early on in the lineup and had a little bit more adrenaline than they can control. Well, she finishes with a great last pass, and this Alabama team proved to be a really strong floor team just last week. Watch her feet on this first pass. She lands, and that first foot that does not stay planted, and that's really what the judges are looking for.
So similar to that LaCourcier landing deduction we saw on the last routine. We'll see what the judges do with that one. LaCourcier, of course, scored a 9.825. I expect this one to be in a similar range. Would you say, Sam?
Yeah, I think so too.
Cammie Weaver, now the 5th gymnast to go, follows at 9.825 from Swaney.
This is a good redemption moment for her. She struggled last week. That handspring layout. Good adjustment at the end. Sometimes when she gets nervous, she can rush this routine. So we're really looking for her to slow down, keep the rhythm the same from start to finish. That's what she struggled on last week and didn't show any signs of being nervous here today. The key for her is to go up and be aggressive. And I'm really noticing that from her today. Round off 1.5. Oh, so close to those sticks. And you see that when they take a step back, almost delayed, that's when they're trying too hard to stick, hold their feet down.
It's like your brain can process, I really don't want to do this. I'm going to do this, aren't I? And she did. Power does Gabby Gladio have. Assistant coach Amelia Hunley on the left there with some words for the team. Came into this rotation with a .325 lead, did the Alabama Crimson Tide. Jocelyn Robertson, a 9.925 for her beam routine, and man, did they need that. That equals a career high score. Gabby Gladio equals a career high score for her. One judge, Sam, gave her a 10, the other one did not. The average is a 9.975. Well, Taylor Davis, she's got the head coach of the arc
to finish on this event here.
Yeah, Alabama with the big lead, but put this into perspective. Got to finish on beam. This is an event, Alabama is ranked 28th in the country. By far their lowest ranking by almost 20 spots out of the 4 events. So they have not been good on this event this season, and this is an important spot for Chloe LaCourcier as she leads off and her teammates to finally deliver on this event.
I really enjoy watching her work beam, and I was interested to hear that she actually used to hate beam. A lot of people I know come to college not loving beam, but they've worked really hard on her approach to get her to find joy in this event, and especially in that leadoff spot. She actually draws to help calm her nerves. And she's become really good at drawing elephants, we hear, but it helps her create that playful attitude when jumping up to a pressure situation like a leadoff spot on beam. This is looking strong. Exactly how Alabama was hoping to start this last event. Stuck 1.5. You see her head nod. That's what they want to do.
A 9.8 average for the Alabama Crimson Tide on beam will be a new team high score for the season. And I tell you what, Sam, to get a season high score on the road at the end of the season when you put up a bunch of scores isn't usually how it works. Usually those big scores come at home, certainly midway through the season, but this would be real big for Ashley Johnson, the head coach there, and her team. Over to floor exercise with Arkansas, number 8 in the country on this event, their highest ranking of all of the 4 events. And this is Callista Gamio. Saw her start things off on beam so well. Here she is starting things off on floor.
See her come off the floor. There must have been an issue with the music. That's not a deduction, but it does rattle you as an athlete. You have a mental routine before you even step on the floor, so getting out of that bubble, you can't tell that it affects her, but it does just disrupt your preparation. Finishing double back, slide on that landing. But a really fun performance. You can just hear the crowd heating up.
Rare 3-pass routine. And yes, you said it, Sam, heating up here in Bud Walton.
Watch her feet. She takes a lunge, but she doesn't move that front foot. Her toes come up, but that does not count as movement. But she did slide on that last pass, so that'll likely be a deduction.
It'll be interesting to see how they handle it, because we've seen a routine with that in it twice from Alabama. One got 9.825, one got 9.925. Now we'll see what they do with Gamio's routine as freshman Ryan Fuller. I think Sam Peshek, I heard her say she's going to be a star.
I did say that, and I'll tell you why. You can just tell that she has a really sound mind, and I had a chance to ask their coach Justin Spring about it, and he said, yeah, I think she has one of the best mental games on the team, similar to Lily Hudson, where she's just an athlete, and meaning that every time she salutes, she actually does better than when she practices. I think similar or different than other athletes, you can actually see in her face she's in the zone when she's up there on the beam. Eyes looking at the end of the beam. That's what I call the #1 rule of beam.
And don't understate this moment for a freshman. This arena is getting loud with Arkansas on floor, the meat on the line, and Ryan Fuller delivering.
Hop on that dismount, almost had it.
So 2 routines now done for Alabama on beam. Sunday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, we'll have a 3.5-hour best of this weekend's SEC Indoor Track and Field Championships on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. The Arkansas Razorbacks are the defending men's and women's champs. The event takes place at Texas A&M College Station. So Gamio a 9.85, right in between those 2 scores we gave as an example, Sam. And Haley Klein now takes to the floor. 9.85 is not going to be good enough for Arkansas to beat Alabama tonight if Alabama keeps hitting routines. They're going to need a little help from the Crimson Tide, meaning they need to make a mistake.
But Arkansas is usually so strong on this event because of landings like that. Coaches honestly couldn't say enough positive things about this athlete. They said Haley is the first one in the gym every day, no questions asked. Another solid routine for Arkansas. These scores are going to start building.
Yeah, and the energy building up. I'm kind of curious, Taylor, you're down there. I see kids standing at the rope. I see the team standing right next to each other. The crowd's getting wild. Can you feel a difference in the electricity in this last rotation?
I mean, Jordan Weaver told us before the break it's a floor party in here, and that's exactly how I would describe it. You're 100% right. The energy definitely changed leading into this fourth rotation because they all know what they're capable of on floor. And, you know, it's interesting hearing you both talk about what still is on the line for both of these teams.
Got the number 3 hype man working hard. Not sure what his score is, but he's doing his job. Taylor, what you got?
John, we've talked about the energy and the environment in here for this fourth rotation, but I'm down here behind the Alabama huddle, and it really has not been affecting them. But it's something that they went to great lengths to prepare for this week. They actually brought in a member from their marketing department, had him play the act of hype man. They actually read through Arkansas's lineup on floor. They were playing music while doing the beam set, trying to prepare for exactly this moment.
Oh,
what a save.
Wow, I cannot believe she said that's a willpower save right there.
And maybe that pressure in practice, Taylor, paid off right there because she easily could have been off the balance beam. This is Corinne Benogin.
They wanted to mentally thrive in this environment, and I think that's a win. Significant deduction, but man, she didn't come off that beam, and most would in that scenario.
She's following Rabicki's 9.9. That's a career high score for her. Strong finish.
Yeah, minimized every deduction possible. Back handspring. You see she was already off on the right side. Her right hand was off the beam and continued that trend for her layout. But usually if you're face sideways and twirling your arms around, you're most certainly off the beam. I don't know how she saved that actually.
That's going to be the new low score for Alabama on beam. They're going to count that 9.775 from Fuller. So what does that mean to the Crimson Tide? Right now, it doesn't mean a whole lot if they get hit routines from Hudson and Gladio in the last 2 spots. But I'll tell you what, the pressure in this arena for the Crimson Tide has just gone.
That was a big pressure moment for Alabama, and they went to work.
So it is going to be a season-high score for the Crimson Tide. They will, according to my crack statistician, Chris Capo sitting right next to me, they will pass Arkansas in the national rankings. That is big, but it's not all bad news for the Arkansas Razorbacks either. They already have a team-high score on the floor exercise. They will improve their NQS as well as one of the best in the country. Frankie Price gets her turn.
Opens, double layout, hop on that landing. I was just gonna say, if Jocelyn Robertson wasn't set up perfectly, Frankie Price was.
Entire arena was a little bit confused by that score, and I asked head coach Jordan Weaver, I said, what was the deduction? She said, there wasn't one.
I'm having a hard time disagreeing. Judges are making the athletes work a little harder for those 10s, which I don't think is a bad thing this season. Raising the bar of perfection, if you will.
Price is just such a seasoned performer. I love watching her do this routine. Not only does she have big tumbling passes, but she's got the choreography down. I saw her look the judge in the eye on the ending, really telling him, hey, give me a high score.
Jordan Weaver has got to be pleased. They will not get the win. However, in women's gymnastics, there are other ways to get wins, and improving your NQS, getting a high score, which they certainly are going to have a good number here tonight, improves those rankings, and that is ultimately what they need right now.
And even without Frankie Price's score, that 49.6 is almost 0.3 higher than their average all season long. So really ending on a high note for Arkansas in their home arena.
So we'll see where the NQS and the rankings flush out. Their NQS will go up. I'm not sure where Arkansas's rankings per se will go up, but they have improved their NQS. That's what you need to do here late in the season. Chris Brooks certainly letting his team know how he feels about tonight's competition, I'm sure. A lot of good things, and the Crimson Tide thrilled. Gabby Gladio a 9.9, Frankie Price a 9.9. And that 197.65 for the Crimson Tide. It got close, Sam, at the end. It was over a 6/10 lead for Alabama. But you mentioned, you said that floor rotation for Arkansas. Alabama would need a big lead, and they needed every bit of it to hold off the Razorbacks. But look at this.
Vậy giữa đã có cái trận kia rồi đấy nhỉ?
Trận kia ở LEC rồi.
Trên trận
Hết cái đợi là hết rồi chiều.
mất là gọi
Chấp nhận.
view luôn để kinh khủng. Hôm nay thì người ta ca giáp từ bên này thì lại được một tí, đằng này thì lại đéo được cái gì. Rồi.